Okay. So we are topic group two, which is the Young Driver Mobility Study. I'm Sahana Kulashekaran.
I'm Heidi Hirschbach.
I'm Saranya Kati.
I think we're waiting for a link, but
So,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. So some background and context. The goal of this study is to review Maryland's graduated licensing system, to identify opportunities to enhance mobility, expand workforce participation, and improve transportation access for responsible young drivers. So, what is the GLD? The GLD requires Maryland drivers to complete 60 supervised hours, complete driving courses, and pass the driving exam. So, Maryland drivers under the age of 18 must complete three stages of the GLG. So, currently, you can receive your learner's permit at 15 and 9 months, your provisional license at 16 and 6 months, and your full license at 18.
So there are actually a number of alarming statistics related to teen drivers, such as the fact that they're 3 times more likely to crash than drivers of ages 20 or older, and around 2,300 teens are killed annually in the US from car crashes and driver-related accidents, and 47% of new drivers crash in their first year. So those are some concerns and effects that we looked at, which helped us to decide on our recommendations. And there are also a few key concerns and effects, including that teen driving entails parent supervision, which might cause hardships for low income and single parent households. And it also entails independent driving, which is a high crash risk, regardless of when teens start driving. And it also causes high insurance costs, which may increase financial pressure for families.
Okay, so for our key findings, to start with age thresholds, Maryland requires teens to wait until the age of 16 years and 6 months for a provisional license. And as you can see from the graphic we included, Georgia and North Carolina allow licensure at age 16. Although the difference is only 9 months for a permit and 6 months for a license, it can significantly affect teens seeking part-time employment, as earlier licensure provides greater independence and reduces reliance on parents or limited public transportation.
Another thing to know is driver's ed access in Maryland. So Maryland currently only requires formal driver's education, but only a few Maryland high schools currently offer it as a course. And this causes low-income families to face a burden as private programs average around 400 and even more behind the wheel training. So Maryland currently only requires 3 professional in-car lessons, which totals to 6 hours. However, Virginia offers 14 instructional periods as a requirement, so Maryland's is significantly lower.
And then lastly, for youth workforce impact, Maryland law allows teens to begin working at age 14, and 40.3% of 16 to 19-year-olds are employed, primarily in retail and food service jobs that often require evening and weekend shifts. However, these positions frequently depend on reliable transportation. For teens without a driver's license, delayed licensure can limit access to employment opportunities or increase reliance on parents, guardians, or public transportation.
So, after our research, we came to a few conclusions. So, we currently want to keep the 60 hours of supervised driving, and we still want to require the classes for driver's ed. But what we want to change is we want to offer driver's ed as a semester course in more high schools statewide, and we want to require 10 hours of in car lessons, so 2 hours each, one for the local roads, parking, highways, defensive driving, and nighttime driving. And we want to lower the permit age to 15 and 3 months and lower the minimum provisional license to 16 and 3 months. The point of this is to give students a year to complete all the requirements. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait, no. My bad.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation. I really appreciate that. And I think that you really presented very well, clear, and especially with the comparison with Maryland and other state, right? We just show the differences, and then you look at the like recommendation. I think it really makes sense. I really love that. I think those recommendations really make sense, and both talk about the risk and then talk about the benefit. So pretty well researched and presented the result. Thank you very much for the team. And the one question for you is about school curriculum, right? So did you do any research in terms of how many other states have school curriculum on driver license?
I actually did not research that part, but I've just heard in the past it was more common to have like driver's ed in schools from like my teachers. She went to the public school system in Carroll County, and she told me that like then that was just pretty common, but now it's like you don't ever see that.
Hmm, I see.
Something I can know is that I kind of talked to some people I know because I go to school in PA, and I found it interesting that in Pennsylvania, at least from the people I talked to, they don't even have to take driver's ed as a course, and in-cars are not a requirement. So I think that really made it significant looking at what we have to do in Maryland in order to obtain a license because since we have driver's ed, I think it makes sense that we want to make it a semester course in schools because there are other states like Pennsylvania that don't even require driver's ed.
I see. That's interesting. Mhm. Okay. Any other question from the team? Other team members? Okay.
Okay, great
This
job,
concludes the
topic one.
presentation. Thank you very much.